Hi guys, this is Allison from Allykatkreations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you get anything from my work, connect to that. An epiphany, a mind blow moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore. Please consider supporting my work, and all the links will be at the bottom of the video. Today is a milestone for my channel. This video will be the 600th video. I know, it's a lot of content. A lot. And although some of that is child read alouds, and the other half is some oracle readings, the vast majority of it is book reading and my insights on things. Very cool. Quantum AI and metaphysical ponderings, because the 600th video has to be on black holes, because we're going to continue that discussion, because there's nothing but black hole articles all over the damn net. Knock, knock, who's there? Black hole matrix. Who wants your soul not to ascend? The mother effers messing with the matrix. There's a lot I could say. There's a lot that I've been reading, and it's scary. Why is it scary? Because listening and re-listening to some work, hearing other people talk about other matrix systems makes me squirm. We're all trying to ascend. That's the big theme. Past the political junk, past all the other spiritual evolutionary movements. Are they talking about any of this stuff? Because again, no one really is talking about the wormholes, the stargates, the portals. They're talking about space arcs. Atlantis is rising again. We're already in Atlantis 2.0 because we're here again. Again, we are here. More consciously aware, possibly, and I can't lie about that, possibly we were deceived back then, and I believe we're being deceived once again, because this stuff just keeps cycling around and around and around and around and around. The first article I have a few. I'm going to try to keep it tamed. I have a job fair tomorrow, testing out some lighter makeup to look normal, to fit back into the matrix, because I don't have a choice. A super massive black hole is spewing a high energy jet toward Earth. But don't panic, as the article says. The powerful blazar is located 400 million light years from the Earth. Now I want all of you to put something into perspective. And I don't, for all those physics and mathematical people, hear me out. If we are basing our reality off of ontological mathematics, that we are in a holographic simulation, then all of this stuff is just hearsay, because the deceiver, a NASA mission, deceiving. If we were to take the idea of nos confunden. Please go look up the nos confunden map. And then everything is on a plane of existence within domes. So like Pallades is not up in the sky, it's beyond the ice wall in its own dome kind of idea. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie. This person, whoever it is, channeled some crazy kind of stuff. And it seems legitimate. Not going to lie. But as I was talking with Ethan Lucas, go check him out, ethanlucas.com. He and I have the same theory that everything is like a video game and everything is densitied and layered. Kind of like how Ashiana draws her map, everything is layered and condensed to the lowest form. So black holes would have to exist outside of our paradigm in a sense, which they do, but I don't know exactly if they exist the way they're saying it exists in these articles. But they do exist. I do believe that very strongly. I just don't think how they are perceiving it is correct. Anywho, let's just pretend that what I just said, just leave that in the back of your head as something just to mull over. Regardless of the perception that you possibly have, everybody's perception about the world is different and reality is different, and that's okay. And yes, I'm still battling the bugs. Zapping those little demons. A NASA mission has observed a supermassive black hole pointing its highly energetic jet straight toward Earth. Don't panic just yet. Though, as fearsome as this cosmic event is, it's located at a very safe distance, about 4 million light years away. They're able to read this, but yet you don't get cell service in certain parts of the country. How bizarre. People in third world countries can't even get the internet. And they can see this. Actively feeding supermassive black holes, including the one at hand, are surrounded by swirling disks of matter called accretion disks. Oh, yes, they do. Which gradually feed them over time. Some of the material they don't swallow is then channeled toward their poles, where it's subsequently blasted out at near light or relativistic speed. This creates high energy and extremely bright electromagnetic radiation in some cases, like with NASA's latest muse, that jet is pointed straight at Earth. Wants to feed on us. Those events are known as blazars. Whatever. This blazar, designated Mark Arian 421 and located in the constellation Ursa Major, was observed with NASA's Imaging X-ray Photometry Explorer. That totally had my New York accent. I do apologize. Which launched in December 2021. IXPE, that imager, observes a property of magnetic fields called polarization, which refers to the field's orientation. The polarization of The jet blasted out by Mark-Arian-421 revealed a surprise for astronomers, showing that the part of the jet where particles are being accelerated is also home to a magnetic field with a helical structure. Blazar jets can stretch across space for millions of light years, but the mechanisms that launch them aren't yet well understood. However, these new discoveries surrounding the jet of Mark-Arian-421 could shed some light on this extreme cosmic phenomenon. Mark-Arian-421 is an old friend for high-energy astronomers. Lead researcher behind the discovery and Italian Space Agency astrophysicist Laura De Gessiu said in a statement, quote, "We were sure that the blazar would be a worthwhile target for IXPE, but its discoveries were beyond our best expectations, successfully demonstrating how X-ray polarimetry enriches our ability to probe the complex magnetic field geometry and particle acceleration in different regions of relativistic jets." A black hole sucking everything in. It shoots its boom. Hi, we're space dust. Space dust returned to source without any of us knowing our consciousness. It's all scattered, but we're brought back to God. Negative polarity people created these things, by the way. Because who cares about the source of God? Want nothing to do with that. Even though they are a report of source. Fun times. I'm going to skip around a little bit. We recognize that the polarization was actually about the same, but its direction literally pulled a U-turn, rotating nearly 180 degrees in 2 days. Marshall said, "It's then surprised us again during the third observation, which started a day later, to observe the direction of the polarization continuing to rotate at the same rate." Who's controlling that? During these maneuvers, measurements of electromagnetic radiation in the form of optical, infrared, and radio light showed no effect on the stability and structure of the jet itself. Even when X-ray emissions did change, this implied a shockwave traveling around the twisted magnetic field from Mark-Arian-421. Hints of such a phenomenon have once been seen in the jet of another blazar, witnessed by IXPE, Mark-Arian-501. But the team's new findings represent more clear-cut evidence that a helical magnetic field does indeed contribute to a traveling shockwave that's accelerating jet particles to relativistic speeds. The team behind the work intends to continue studying, as well as identifying other blazars to find some with similar qualities in pursuit of revealing a mechanism that powers the extreme and bright outflows characteristic of these phenomena. This is at space.com, published by Robert Lee. Many possibilities can be taken from this if it's in our direction. Bye-bye. They don't want us here. They don't want us to ascend. They, meaning the negative polaritive peoples out in the universe, don't want us to succeed in our upping the density of the planet. What do you think they're trying to stop? Every which way we can get the fuck out of here. Sorry, guys. I'm just messing with my screen so I can see. This is physics.org by Tony Allen, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Astronomers reveal new features of galactic black holes. I don't lie, guys. I'm going to leave the links in the description. Read it for yourself. And I mean, I'm only like smooshing down a lot of these concepts, but again, why is there so many articles on black holes? It's mind-boggling. What it's like either predictive programming or they're really shoving their agenda down our faces. And that's all that means, is that we really need to go in and do a hell of a lot of catching up in our spiritual work so that we can at least have a chance to go bye-bye in the right way and ascend in the right manner and not have to be returned to space dust. But if that's what your soul chose, kosher beans. But these are the things that make my brain squirm, because I can't stop any of this. I could put my manifestation powers into action and motion, but we need to do that in mass. And again, we can't change the outcome of everybody's moving timelines. Black holes are the most mysterious objects in the universe, with features that sound like they come straight from a sci-fi movie. Stellar mass black holes with masses of roughly 10 suns, for example, reveal their existence by eating materials from their companion stars. And in some instances, supermassive black holes accumulate at the center of some galaxies to form bright, compact regions known as quasars, with masses equal to millions to billions of our suns. A subset of accretioning stellar mass black holes that can launch jets of highly magnetized plasma are called microquasars. Now, what no one ever really talks about is white holes. And if they're projecting out in their jets plasma, what is plasma? What information is in the plasma that we might be receiving to upgrade our? So maybe a black hole might be to our advantage, or maybe not. But interesting. And W.C. Vetch calls highly evolved spiritual human beings quasars. It's iffy on that. An international team of scientists, including UNLV astrophysicist Bing Zhan, reports a Nature on a dedicated observational campaign on the galactic microquasar dubbed GRS 1915 plus 105. The team revealed features of a microquasar system that have never been seen before. Using the massive 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope, FAST, in China, astronomers discovered a quasi-periodic oscillation signal in a radio band of the first time from any microquasar systems. QPOS are a phenomenon that astronomers use to understand how stellar systems like black holes function, while QPOs have been observed in X-rays from microquasars. Their presence outside of this context as a part of the system's radio emission is unique. The peculiar QPO signal has a rough period of 0.2 seconds, or a frequency of about 5 hertz, said Wei Wang, a professor with China's Wuhan University. Oh, there we go again. There we go again. Sorry, Wuhan, China. Who led the team that made the discovery. Such a signal does not always exist and only shows up under special physical conditions. Our team was lucky enough to catch the signal twice in January 2021 and June 2022, respectively. According to UNLV's Zhang, director of the Nevada Center for Astrophysics, and one of the study's corresponding authors, the unique feature may provide the first evidence of activity from a jet launched by a galactic stellar mass black hole. Under certain conditions, some black hole binary systems launch a jet, a mix of parallel beams of charged matter and a magnetic field that moves with a swiftness approaching the speed of light. In accelerating black hole systems, X-rays usually probe the accretion disk around the black hole, while radio emission usually probes the jet launch from the disk and the black hole, said Zhang. The detailed mechanism to induce temporal modulation in a relativistic jet is not identified, but one plausible mechanism would be that the jet is underlying precession, which means the jet direction is regularly pointing towards different directions and returns to the original direction once every about 0.2 seconds. I hate these stupid ads. Zhang said that a misalignment between the spin axis of a black hole and its accretion disk, extremely hot, bright spinning gases surrounding the black hole, could cause this effect, which is a natural consequence of a dragging of space-time near a rapidly spinning black hole. So talking about space-time is exerting the idea and notion that this is in our reality, in the third density time frame. Again, polarization that only happens in third density. It's together. Usually in all the other densities, from what I've been reading, everything is kind of separate. It still exists together, but it's like a little on the separate side. It's like all the happy people are going over here and all the negative people are going over here kind of deal, but they're still intermingling, but not as, oh, you're going to live next door to your neighbor and he's a jerk kind of deal. I'd rather a happy old grandma that knits sweaters and has all the vegetables. Hey, Allison. Here's a tomato. Here's an apple. It's great. Love you. I want to take you home with me. Oh, you live right next door. Cute grandma. Yeah. Other possibilities exist, though, and continued observations of this other galactic microquasar sources will bring more clues to understand this mysterious QPO signals, said Zhang. Another article. Very similar to the first one I just read. It's burning my brain. I might leave that. I'm skipping my order of tab articles because I want to keep on the black hole, but there's 2 articles that might tie into black holes, but one I'm leaving for last because it's a conspiracy theorist dream. Telling you what. This is from physics.org. Astronomers witness energetic switch on of black hole by Royal Astronomical Society. A team of astronomers led by researchers from the University of Birmingham, University College London, and Queen's University Belfast have discovered one of the most dramatic switches on of a black hole ever seen. They will present their findings Tuesday, 4th July, at the 2023 National Astronomy Meeting in Cardiff. The work will also be published in monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society. J22-1951-484240, known as J22-1951, is one of the most luminous transients astronomical object that can change their brightness over a short period of time ever recorded. It was discovered by Dr. Samantha Oates, an astronomer at the University of Birmingham, and her team in September of 2019 while searching for an electromagnetic light from a gravitational wave event. The team were using the ultraviolet optical telescope on board the Neil Gehrels Swift Observatory to look for a kilonova. I don't think I'm saying that right, but anywho, the sign of a neutron star merging with another neutron star or black hole. A kilonova typically appears blue, then fades and turns more red in color over a time scale of days, but they found instead something even more unusual. J22-1951, the transient appeared blue but didn't change color or fade rapidly as a kilonova would. Multiple telescopes were used to follow up and determine its nature, including NASA's Swift UVOT and Hubble Space Telescope, the South African Large Telescope, and ESO facilities such as the Very Large Telescope and GROND instrument on the MPG ESO 2.2 meter telescope at the La Silla Observatory. Evidence suggests that J22-1951 came into existence as a result of a supermassive black hole feeding on surrounding material very rapidly. A red galaxy was observed at the location of J22-1951 prior to its detection, and the location of J22-1951 is consistent with the galaxy's center, where a massive black hole would naturally reside. It started to shine very suddenly, around 10 months prior to initial detection, meaning the black hole started feeding very quickly after being quiet for some time. The ultraviolet spectrum shows absorption features consistent with material pushed outwards by a huge release of energy. This, combined with its large luminosity, makes this one of the most dramatic switches on of a black hole ever seen. The team have identified 2 possible mechanisms that could explain the extreme feeding of a supermassive black hole. The first is that it may have been caused by a tidal disruption event, the disruption of a star as it passes close to a supermassive black hole at the center of its galaxy. The second is that it may have been produced by an active galactic nucleus changing state from dormant to active. J22-1951 would then be the signal that a dormant black hole at the center of the host galaxy has begun to feed on material from an accretion disk. Dr. Samantha Oates adds, and I'm skipping through a whole bunch of this. In the future, we will be able to obtain important clues that help distinguish between the tidal disruption event and active galactic nuclei scenarios. For instance, if J22-1951 is associated with an AGN turning on, we may expect it to stop fading and increase again in brightness. While if J22-1951 is a tidal disruption event, we could expect it to continue to fade. We will need to continue to monitor over the next few months to years to capture its late time behavior. Again, I'm skipping around in my articles. So if it's correct, let's just say NASA's correct, and these things exist outside of our firmament kind of deal, right? What density is this in? Because if you move up density, you're moving up the oscillation, the octaves, the sub-octaves, you're moving the vibration and the frequency of the state of being that was once inhabited in one spot. Now it's moved up vibratorily, maybe up. So does that black hole still exist in the new paradigm? Or is it just this old paradigm? And then why have dark black holes, supermassive? Why have them in the first place? Unless that is God's vacuum cleaner of the cosmos. When he individualized and differentiated itself to have experiences, and things went rogue against his, well, it's never against because it's all of him in the first place, but perhaps things are too on a polarized swing in one direction. I'm thinking that the design of God, it has to have come back to neutrality, or at least go back to the other pole and have an equilibrium happen, because things should be balanced in God's vision, supposedly, if that's the experience that God wanted. But I feel like some of these black holes in all the galaxies that are supposedly found have massive black holes in the middle of them. Are they asleep? Do they suck everything in and keep popping out in a cycle? Because energy just doesn't go away, it transforms. So if you're getting sucked into a black hole, it's going to be in a snap of a finger, faster than a human thought, and whoop, you're on the opposite side of the universe where you once were. Good thing, bad thing, who knows? Is a black hole a wormhole that just sucks you in and takes you to another part of the super universe? Do you become space dust if you enter in and get sucked into a black hole? A lot of questions. But here we go. Another black hole fun. But this time it's about dark matter. This is again from physics.org, site.org. July 5th, 2023, again by the Royal using gravitational waves to hunt for dark matter. So it's the same people who I read from the last article. Using computer simulation, an international team of cosmologists, there we go. My brain's not working now. I have to shut it off. Have discovered the observations of gravitational waves from merging black holes may unveil the true nature of dark matter. Their finding will be presented today, 2023 National Astronomy Meeting by co-author Dr. Alex Jenkins of the University College London. The team used computer simulations to study the production of gravitational wave signals in simulated universes with different kinds of dark matter. Their findings show that counting the number of black hole merging events detected by the next generation of observatories could tell us whether or not dark matter interacts with other particles, giving us new insights into what it is made of. Cosmologists generally regard dark matter as one of the biggest missing pieces in our understanding of the cosmos. Despite strong evidence that dark matter makes up 85% of the matter in the universe, there is currently no consensus on its underlying nature. This includes questions such as whether dark matter particles can collide with other particles, such as atoms or neutrinos, or whether they pass straight through them unaffected. A way to test this is by looking at how galaxies form in dense clouds of dark matter called halos. If dark matter collides with neutrinos, the dark matter structure becomes dispersed, resulting in fewer galaxies being formed. The problem with this method is that any galaxies that go missing are very small and very distant from us. So it's hard to see whether they are there or not, even with the best telescopes available. Rather than targeting the missing galaxies directly, the authors of the study propose using gravitational waves as an indirect measure of their abundance. Their simulations show that in models where dark matter does collide with other particles, there are significantly fewer black hole mergers in the distant universe. While this effect is too small to be seen by current gravitational wave experiments, it will be a prime target for the next generation of observatories that are currently being planned. The author hopes their methods will help simulate new ideas for the using gravitational wave data to explore the large-scale structures of the universe and shine a new light on the mysterious nature of dark matter. Co-author Dr. Sonak Bose of Durham University said, quote, "Dark matter remains one of the enduring mysteries in our understanding of the universe. This means it is especially important to continue identifying new ways to explore models of dark matter, combining both existing and new probes to test model predictions to the fullest. Gravitational wave astronomy offers a pathway to better understand not just dark matter, but the formation and evolution of galaxies more generally." So wrapping our head around black holes, wrapping our head around that they're using a computer to simulate stuff, which the possibilities that the computer got it right smidgenly small, because if they don't know what dark matter is in the first place, how can they test? They can only theorize what dark matter is. Besides being of God. I'm always going to throw that in there. this caught my eye. This is not black hole related, although it could be in the future, who knows. A new kind of quantum computer could be built on strange physics of sound waves. And this is sciencealert.com. July 6, 2023 by Andrew N. Cleland, The Conservation. If we haven't already read the Emerald Tablets, The Law of One, the Enuma Elish, and other books that point to how the pyramids were built and how certain structures were created, sound frequency. Merge that idea together and then throw that idea into this. That's what my brain tells me. When you turn on a lamp to brighten a room, you're experiencing light energy transmitted as photons, which are small, discrete quantum packets of energy. These photons must obey the sometimes strange laws of quantum mechanics, which, for instance, dictate that photons are indivisible, but at the same time, allow a photon to be in two places at once, aka quantum entanglement. String theory, too. Similar to the photons that make up beams of light, indivisible quantum particles called photons, phonons, make up a beam of sound. These particles emerge from the collective motion of quadrillions of atoms, much as a stadium wave in sports arenas is due to the motion of thousands of individual fans. When you listen to a song, you're hearing a stream of these very small quantum particles. Originally conceived to explain the heat capacities of solids, phonons are predicted to obey the same role of quantum mechanics as photons. The technology to generate and detect individual phonons has, however, lagged behind that of photons. The technology is only being developed in part by my research group at the Frickser School of Molecular Engineering at the University of Chicago. Oh, how fun. We are exploring the fundamental quantum properties of sound by splitting phonons in half and entangling them together. Oh, what did I just say? Too bad I don't know the math, because I can conceptualize really well. I would never pass a test, though. Can't do the math. My group's fundamental research on phonons may one day allow researchers to build a new type of quantum computer called a mechanical quantum computer. Splitting sound with bad mirrors. To explore the quantum properties of phonons, our team uses acoustic mirrors, which can direct beams of sound. The latest experiments published in recent issues of Science, however, involve bad mirrors, called beam splitters, that reflect about half the sound sent toward them and let the other half through. So you have a phonon, and this is the beam splitter, and then one, and then the other goes that way. Our teams decide to explore what happens when we direct a phonon at a beam splitter. As a phonon is indivisible, it cannot be split. Instead, after interacting with the beam splitter, the phonon ends up in what is called a superposition state. In this state, the phonon is usually somewhat paradoxically both reflected and transmitted, and you're equally likely to detect the phonon in either state. Totally Schrodinger's cat. The superposition effect was observed many years ago with photons. Our results indicate that phonons have the same property. Entangled phonons. After demonstrating the phonons can go into quantum superpositions just as photons do, my team asked a more complex question. We want to know what would happen if we sent two identical phonons into the beam splitter, one from each direction. It turns out that each phonon will go into a similar superposition state of half transmitted and half reflected, both because of the physics of the beam splitter. If we time the photons precisely, they will quantum mechanically interfere with one another. What emerges is actually a superposition state of two phonons going one way and two phonons going the other. The two phonons are thus quantum mechanically entangled. Quantum entanglement, each phonon is in a superposition of reflected and transmitted, but the two phonons are locked together. This means detecting one phonon as having been transmitted or reflected forces the other phonon to be in the same state. So if you direct, you will always detect two phonons going one way or the other, neither one phonon going each way. The same effect for light, the combination of superposition and interference of two photons is called the Hong-Oi-Mandel effect, after the three physicists who first predicted and observed it in 1987. Now my group has demonstrated the same effect with sound. The future of quantum computing. The results suggest that it may now be possible to build a mechanical quantum computer using photons. There are continuing efforts to build an optical quantum computers that require only the emissions detection and interference of single photons. These are in parallel with efforts to build electrical quantum computers, which through the use of large numbers of entangled particles promise an exponential speedup of certain problems, such as factoring large numbers or simulating quantum systems. My group's experiments with phonons are qubits, the same technology that power electronic quantum computers, which means that as the technology of phonons catches up, there is a potential to integrate the phonon-based computers with electric quantum computers. Doing so could yield new, potentially unique computational abilities. Quantitative computed fun. No thanks. I have to save that. This last article. There's a, you know what? Hang on, guys. I'm going to see if I can find a patent. I have the paper document in somewhere, but there is a patent for this. Hang on. We got to find it now. I found it. But we're going to read the article first before I show you pictures of this fun shit. And this is from knowledge/time.com. Strange and highly advanced sun simulator recorded for the first time. That simulator has been out since 1966, the patent at least. There's all right, hang on. So this is where I'm at here. This right here. I saw this, and there's YouTube videos for this. Hovering hexagon UAP above Crazy Horse Monument, South Dakota. So again, fun. So I'm going to share the screen again. Solar simulator. This is the patent number. Look it up for yourself. I use DuckDuckGo. It's a very lengthy, very lengthy patent. But what do we know about patents? April 1966. Oh, what does that look like? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, there's foreign patents too. Oh, look at the dates on this. Australia, Germany, France, Great Britain. Bum, ba-dum, ba-bum. Bum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum. Now for all my mathematical physicists in the universe, let me ask you some questions. If the sun is this so far, so super far away from us, how do we get our heat? Where's our heat coming from? And if we are spinning at a megaton of speed, and we're only seeing the same constellations in the stars, when we look up at night and we see things that are the same, even though we're moving through space-time, shouldn't we be seeing new constellations and new formed galaxies? And how does that work if we're spiraling and spinning and we're moving in space-time? Why do we keep seeing Orion, the Pleiades, Sirius, Ursa and Minor, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, Draconis? Why are we only seeing those in the sky? If we're moving through space, shouldn't we be seeing something else by this time frame? If we're going as fast as what is claimed by the deceivers. And the moon landing was fake. So please again tell me how we're breaching the firmament. Are we breaching the firmament? If there's anything in that Bible that I absolutely know to be true, it's the firmament. Why is a rainbow arced? Oh, it's a globe. How? Explain it to me. Certain things just start not adding up. Certain things in this world are beyond our comprehension and level of acknowledgement. It's metaphysical because the things you can't see, yet still it does exist. We just can't perceive it with our 3D eyes. Although some of us can see other dimensional things when they zip in and out of our frequency. Again, I'm doing this series because it's alarming. This is red flag stuff. This is why is this stuff being looked into without the consideration of humanity? Why was a solar simulator made? I mean, the patent talks about why, but like, that's not the real intention of why half of these people are good people making all these awesome experiments and findings, right? They're not evil. It's the people funding them for malicious intent to use that technology for the negative polarity. That's really all it boils down to is this. And it is the root of all evil. You can agree with me or not, but I know there are many amazing people out there doing incredible experiments, but are they asking themselves a higher ended question spiritually? Is this for the greater good or for the greater worse in detriment of our humanity? Because I could tell you what, after listening to a bunch of Ashiana Dean's workshops again and just sitting and like really fathoming the black hole and the matrix black hole, and why do I keep seeing so many articles with black hole, dark matter, and quantum computing? There's a tie and a link right there. Haven't cracked all the code yet for it, but I think it's for an alarm. I think we all need to really, as much as everybody's into the political sphere of what's going on in the world and why things are slighted one way or another, we're freaking in a movie. We wrote these roles for us. So to learn from and to gain more higher soul experience from it all. Once you transcend it, the bigger questions start coming out is, why is this stuff in your face? At least my face. Why is it there? What is it trying to tell me? Are these people tampering and testing what they were doing back in Atlantis with crystalline technology? Are we getting to that stage again where we're going to zip ourselves into an explosion, implosion, who knows, getting sucked into something because some genius decided they were going to tamper with humanity without asking the bigger question? Is what my life's work, is it worth sucking the entire planet into a void of space? Letting everything disintegrate? We are just energy, and we will go back to source regardless if it's a space dust to return or we're going to ascend in our immortal souls. That's up to your soul that made that choice, but I don't want to be any part of that. I don't think any of you want to be a part of that. I think most of us want to ascend in the right way, the way that God intended us, some of us, to ascend. Stinky. But I'm glad you took this journey with me. Thank you to everybody who has liked, shared, and subscribed to my channel. Let me know what you think about these articles. What do you get from them? Because I know I get a lot of alarm bells from them. I'm not, I mean, again, like I say, I'm not a mathematician, but I can conceptualize, visualize these things in my mind. I can probably draw them out. I'm very my artwork is based on metaphysics and light and different light waves and things of that nature. So I've always been interested in this stuff. It's just a matter of, are we tempting Atlantis 2.0 to like go bye-bye? Or are we going to rise Atlantis and say, oh, we messed up back then and we are not repeating the past. We're moving forward and we're creating a new cycle so we don't end up going bye-bye. And I don't think bye-bye is anytime anywhere near soon. I think it's not for a few generations, but that can change in a heartbeat if somebody decides to do something that doesn't put humanity in its best interests and create something in a lab that's too big to contain, and oops, didn't mean to do that. And we get an Urkel moment, if those of you who are old enough to know who Urkel is. Did I do that? I'm not doing his accent. So yeah, I mean, are we going to have that did I do that kind of shit? Oops, sorry. No, you can't take back humanity. It has to then reseat itself. I don't want to come back here. I do not consent to be human again. This is my last life in this dense reality. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't consent to it, and I will not volunteer. And I hope you all hear that upstairs. I don't want to. I'd rather help from upstairs, and I'd rather help what is established here. I don't want to be a part of this experiment anymore. I think a lot of you are on that same boat. We all want to go jiving out in the greatest of harmonics ever. Out. Goodbye. If I could just get hit by lightning like powder and just dissipate and my energy goes into everything, that'd be amazing. Who knows, that might end up happening. That'd be great. But until that day comes, which won't be anytime soon, what do you guys think about these topics? You can look up the solar simulator patent online. Easy to find. It came up in 2 seconds. The actual paperwork is easy to find too, if you wanted to do that. I just clicked on it really quick so I don't kill another hour and a half. So weekend is upcoming. Please be safe, be seen. Sending each and every one of you protection, light, love, and shielding. We need it. Get a lot of enemies out there, a lot of negative thought forms that people have created out of their own mind, trying to attack you. So be careful. Keep your energy high. This is nothing to worry about for right now, but we really need to consider focusing on it at some point, on why are these institutions and why are these scientists allowed to not consider humanity? Oh, we need to find out the real cause of causation. Do we really? And will we really find the real meanings to things? Everything's been 1984, in my opinion. Anywho, thank you all for taking the 600 video into the record books and into my history, at least. And I want to thank you for taking this journey with me. My journey is just beginning a new rebirth. And I'm hoping that tomorrow I can land an actual job, because I make nothing from this channel. Not that I should. I don't want to charge anything. And that's the point. Knowledge should be free, but people need to eat and sustain life. And in order to do that, you still need to be plugged into the matrix. So I need to go back into the matrix so that I can eat and pay my bills, that if I don't have a way to get in touch with all of you. So I'm hoping I get some good luck tomorrow. I'm hoping that if I don't hear anything, that I find something soon and that I can continue doing this. Not as frequent, but I'm hoping that I can continue to do this as much as possible. So until the next one, guys, please be safe, be seen, and I'll see you on the next one.